This is a repair of a iPhone 11 charging port, or if your speaker's not working, this phone had a dirty speaker, so I had to replace the charging port because the two speakers are at the bottom. So to begin, what you want to do is first remove the bracket at the very bottom. There's about 6 screws that you remove, and underneath that is the lightning charger. I put all my parts and label them so you can just organize them similarly, just remembering where all the screws go. After we have that metal bracket, we want to remove this bottom speaker. There's a couple screws at the bottom and at the top, so removing those screws there. There's also a little clip there, and there's a little bit of adhesive tape in the middle here that we want to remove so that we can take the tick engine out. There are 2 screws underneath this black tape as well. You want to remove the 2 screws there. And then using the tweezers, we can remove this little connector here. Now we can't pry off the speaker yet because at the very bottom there are these other 2 screws that we need to remove. This is a special screw that we need. I'm just using a flathead screwdriver and it seems to work fine. So removing the one on the bottom left and to the right as well. Then I'm using the hair dryer just to give it some warmth so that we can remove the speaker, and pulling gently off. Now we can take the tick engine out. There's 2 screws on the left that we can remove, and then there's a little clip that we need to remove as well. Once we have that clip undone, we can use the tweezers to remove it. I'm taking out the SIM card, and we will remove the SIM card tray reader as well. It has a screw at the top and at the back as well. Removing the connector at the top as well. There's a couple more screws that we need to remove. Using the flathead screwdriver, I'm remove that screw, using the tweezers to get the screw away, and removing that small little bracket with the tweezers. There's another little clip that we need to remove, this using a little plunger. And when we have that, we'll be able to take the SIM card tray reader away, and then remove the little flex cable there. Now we can remove the bottom part. It has a speaker, and then we can flip this up and away. It has a little light sensor there. Then I'm removing the bracket that is at the charging port. So just removing one of the screws there and using the tweezers to remove that. Once we have that, we want to remove the 2 screws at the very bottom of the charging port. There's one on the left and right, and just using the screwdriver we can remove them. In other repair videos they had to remove the battery, but you can actually get these screws out without removing the battery or the other electronics, because this flex cable just peels off just with your fingers there. You don't need to use any heat. It just peels, as you can see, and at the very end you just want to use your plunger to get underneath the adhesive, and that is the charging port removed. Now all we have to do is put in the new charging port and do the reverse process and connect everything back together again, and then just putting back the screen and plugging it in to make sure it's charging. Have it plugged in. It takes about 800 milliamps at 5 volts. So that's how to replace your charging port, or if your speakers are not working when you're phoning, replace the charging port will fix this issue as well. Okay, please like the video and subscribe.